We are slowly building up our body of knowledge on how to handle fatigue life estimation and the establishment of factors of safety if our fatigue stress amplitudes are lower than the endurance limit. We now have to start thinking about the effect of stress concentrators and what is called notch sensitivity on the expected fatigue lifetimes. So you may recall that in the Marin factors, we had a geometric size correction factor that had to do with the diameter of a rotating circular shaft or changes in effective diameter for non-rotating shafts. Those were purely a volume effect on the initiation of a fatigue crack under high cycle fatigue loading. The same thing is true of stress concentrators. In regions of high stress, the volume is somewhat small, and so we adjust the stress concentration factor to account for a volumetric effect that would influence the fatigue lifetime. In effect, what we do is we knock down the stress concentration factor. So what we do is we start at first with an elastic stress concentration factor for the given stress concentrator. And then we note that for some materials, they are not fully sensitive to the elastic stress concentration factor. So we have to knock that factor down to an effective fatigue stress concentration factor using something called the notch sensitivity. So the notch sensitivity provides this ratio of the fractional portion of the stress concentration factor. So this is the fractional portion of the fatigue stress concentration factor divided by that fractional portion of the elastic stress concentration factor. If Q is 0, it means that the material is completely notch insensitive. So if it's notch insensitive, the fatigue stress concentration factor is just 1. If, however, Q is 1, then the material is fully notch sensitive, and the fatigue stress concentration factor is just equal to the elastic stress concentration factor. Values between 0 and 1 knock down the elastic stress concentration factor. So let's take a little peek at it. Let's just imagine we have a shaft that is exposed to a bending moment and the shaft is rotating. We know that we would find the elastic stress concentration factor by taking and evaluating the ratio of the larger diameter to the smaller diameter, which places you on one of these curves in the space that plots the elastic stress concentration factor against the fillet radius divided by the smaller diameter ratio. So we have this normalized length scale, and we have all of these families of curves that are related to the step size as you move from a large diameter to a small diameter. So let's just imagine that we had a shaft with a fillet radius to small diameter ratio of 0.125, which would put us right in here. Imagine also that the D over D ratio is 1.02. So we're right here, which gives us an elastic stress concentration factor of 1.4. I show it here. The fatigue stress concentration factor, that's this equation right here, subtract 1 from the elastic stress concentration factor, multiply that by the notch sensitivity, add 1 back to it, and that gives us our fatigue stress concentration factor. So if we have an elastic stress concentration factor of 1.4, we subtract the 1 from it, which gives us 0.4. We multiply that by the notch sensitivity, add 1 to it, and it gives us our fatigue stress concentration factor. As we said before, if the material is notch insensitive, Q is 0, this second term falls out, and the fatigue stress concentration factor is just 1. There's no stress concentration. If Q is 1, the fatigue stress concentration factor is simply equal to the elastic stress concentration factor, which would be 1.4 for the case I just described. But if Q is 0.8, I take 1 plus 0.8 times 0.4 and gives me a fatigue stress concentration factor of 1.32. This is a huge burden to do this sort of thing. And there are tables that can be used that plot the notch sensitivity against the notch root radius. So the notch root radius, in effect, sets a probed volume size where you could be nucleating fatigue cracks during fatigue loading. And the notch sensitivity curves are parameterized by the ultimate tensile strength. You'll notice that as the ultimate tensile strength goes up, that the notch sensitivity, in fact, goes up. Higher strength, higher notch sensitivity. We take this fatigue stress concentration factor equation for any given R and a known ultimate tensile strength, we read off the notch sensitivity. As you can imagine, that is a nuisance. The other thing that's important is that the notch sensitivity depends upon the loading, just like the stress concentration factor depends upon the loading. For axial and bending stresses, this is the notch sensitivity curve. If we move to shear stresses, we have a different notch sensitivity curve. This is the shear notch sensitivity. And you note that there's an elastic stress concentration factor in shear that is different from that in bending or axial loading. So we have to take all of that into account when we go about trying to calculate a fatigue stress concentration factor. That is a huge nuisance. So the easier thing to do, instead of reading off of a chart, is to use an equation to calculate what the notch sensitivity is. And it turns out a huge amount of research was done in the material science community, and this is the Neuber relationship, where you can calculate the notch sensitivity by taking 1 over 1 plus the square root of A divided by the square root of R, where R is the fillet radius of interest, and A is a material length scale that depends upon the material. For steels, and all that I'm talking about right now are steels, in bending, measuring the ultimate tensile strength in kpsi, we get that the Neuber length scale, square root of A, is given by this equation 635. Now this equation gives you a length scale in dimensions of square root inches. And these prefactors in front of the ultimate tensile strength have units that convert kpsi into square root inches, kpsi squared into square root inches, and so on. So you can only calculate these length scales using ultimate tensile strengths in units of kpsi for equation 635. If you want to calculate the Neuber length scale for torsional loading, there's a different equation for that. Since calculating notch sensitivities is such a nuisance, I would like to do all of this using an Excel spreadsheet. So I show my Excel spreadsheet here where I have all the Marin factor calculations. I have already included a yield strength in here, and I have allowed for the inclusion of non-zero mean stress applied loading so I can calculate all of my fatigue factors of safety. But I now want to include in this green region here, the elastic stress concentration factor. I'll have to look that up. It's still a pain to sort it out, but I would have to look that up. Enter the elastic stress concentration factor, and then I want to have a drop-down menu so I can choose either bending or axial loading or shear loading so that I could then use the appropriate Neuber length scale equation to calculate a notch sensitivity. So I'm going to need to enter my notch root radius in either millimeters or inches. I have already entered the units of my overall calculation as metric up in column B. You already have that in your spreadsheets. I enter my ultimate tensile strength, and then, as you know, the equations that are given in the slides and in the book to calculate the Neuber length scale are all for ultimate tensile strengths in kpsi. So if I enter metric units, I'm going to need a conditional check to see if I have metric, I got to convert my ultimate tensile strength, which was entered in MPa, to kpsi. So let's go to the notch sensitivity tab and take a quick look at it. This equation right here is the Neuber length scale equation for axial or bending loading, and it requires my ultimate tensile strength to be measured in kpsi. So if my units, you see that when I click on cell D, if my units are metric, then I'm going to use a conversion factor on the metric ultimate tensile strength to convert it to kpsi. If the ultimate is measured in MPa, I multiply by 0.145038 to convert that metric ultimate tensile strength, which was given in MPa, to units of kpsi. Once I've done that conversion, then I can calculate my length scale, my Neuber length scale, using equation 635. Well, the first thing I have to do, though, is check whether or not I have bending or axial loading. Because if I do not have bending or axial loading, then I have to use a different Neuber length scale equation. Okay, so the two length scale equations, if we have axial or bending loads, we use equation 635a. And if we have torsional loads, we use equation 635b. So when I calculate my Neuber length scale, I have to have a check statement to decide whether I have bending or axial loading. If I have bending or axial, I use this equation, which I've reproduced here. Ugly in Excel. Otherwise, I use this equation, which I've also reproduced in the Excel spreadsheet. This gives me a calculated length scale in square root of inches. Call it root inches here, but I also convert that to root millimeters so that I could then calculate the notch sensitivity using the Neuber equation. So once I have my Neuber length root A, I need my notch root radius so that I can take the square root of it and use equation 634 to calculate my notch sensitivity. And that would go into this cell D8 right here. So I'm going to use equation 634 to calculate D8. Now I go back to my Marin factors worksheet and I see that my notch root radius was here in column K. I use this entry to calculate my Neuber length scale. I use this entry to calculate my notch sensitivity, which is shown here. There's my notch sensitivity, which I get from the other tab. And then I calculate the fatigue stress concentration factor. I calculate my fatigue stress concentration factor using 633, and that gets thrown into this cell right here. So in the example that I'm showing right now, I have a shaft that's measured in metric units with 690 MPa ultimate tensile strength. I am imagining that this is a rotating bending sample that has an elastic stress concentration factor of 1.65. I put a notch root radius of 3 millimeters in it. I calculate my notch sensitivity to be 0.85, and that gives me a fatigue stress concentration factor of 1.55. The last calculation that I did on my spreadsheet came from example 6.6, which showed the steel shaft in bending with an ultimate strength of 690 MPa, a 3 millimeter notch root radius. Elastic stress concentration factor of 1.65 gives me a fatigue stress concentration factor of 1.55 when I calculate a Neuber length scale of 0.313 and convert my ultimate tensile strength, which was 690 MPa, to 100 kpsi. That's everything I did on the worksheet, and so it's pretty easy to solve these problems once you build an Excel spreadsheet to do it for you.